Well, we've been waiting for this. The DNC finally releasing its autopsy report on the 2024 presidential election. DNC Chair Ken Martin writing, "I am not proud of this product. It does not meet my standards, and it won't meet your standards. I don't endorse what's in this report or what's left out of it." Shannon Bream is the anchor of Fox News Sunday. She joins us now. So this just happened. Why do you think he thinks that it does? Well, do you know why it doesn't meet his standards or why he thinks people will be disappointed?
Well, we're going through what CNN says is this report. We haven't verified it independently, but it's got all kinds of notations on it that are apparently the DNC's objections or questions that it had. And Ken Martin says he initially didn't release this after he had commissioned it because there wasn't source material. They felt there were issues with it and they wanted to see more, pull more together before they'd release it. And then he said after we had, some success in these special elections and other things, I didn't want to release it because I thought it would be a distraction. Then I realized it was a distraction not releasing it. So CNN says it's gotten its hands on this thing and what they're purporting that it is. It talks about a lot of different things in here. They say Democrats have lost ground at every level from inconsistent messaging and improper planning. They talk about funding and not equipping their state parties. And, the document I'm looking at goes on a deep dive through a number of state races, down to the attorney general level and looking at where things matched and didn't match with messaging and voting. And they said, in some of these cases that you couldn't just have a message that we're anti-Trump. We hate President Trump or he's not good for us. He's not good for the country. You have to have your own independent messaging. So it's nearly 200 pages. We're starting to dig through it and would like to independently verify it ourselves as well.
There's going to be a lot of reaction. David Axelrod's already out there. He called this a needless waste of time, given the current challenges Democrats face. I think Ken Martin kind of put his finger on it. By not releasing, he drew a lot more attention to it, Shannon.
Yeah, and people want to know, okay, were there, secret hidden smoking guns in here that pointed fingers at certain people or candidates or funders or, what was it there that you didn't want people to see? And would it be more beneficial to just use it internally for the party to make some corrections on its own? But again, my quick review of these 200 pages purported to be that report show all kinds of deep dives into where messaging worked, where it didn't. And there seems to be an acknowledgement that there were times that it was about the candidates, that the policies themselves tested well or ballot measures that were about specific policies that aligned with Democrats did pass and did do well, but the candidates didn't perform as well in those districts and states as well. So it seems like there's a lot to chew on. But again, there are a lot of notes on there in red that are purportedly from DNC staffers or their interests saying, hey, we need more information. This doesn't meet our standard. What's the sourcing for this? So it's clear that they felt, as Chairman Martin is saying, it doesn't meet prime time. It's not ready for release. And I'm sure he's going to feel that way about this document if it turns out to be the real thing.
I wonder if Martin's in trouble. We'll find out about that. We got another story for you. Go ahead.
Well, we don't have much time, but the mayor in Seattle, she is trying to walk back some comments. This is what she said originally about Starbucks.
I could not be prouder to stand here with Starbucks baristas in solidarity today. I'm asking everyone who believes in fairness, dignity, and workers' rights to stand with us on this picket line. I am not buying Starbucks, and you should not either.
That's one of their proudest companies. It's a big employer. Then she said this to the New York Times. Those comments were not productive in the sense that they cause more harm than good. I want them here, and I believe they want to be here. She's talking about Starbucks there. The billionaires are starting to fight back a little bit, including Starbucks.
Yeah, and the CEO has moved to Florida. And the latest expansion we've seen for Starbucks was in Nashville, Tennessee. So they're going to states that are much more regulatory and tax friendly for them and their businesses. And there's polling out there that shows that even in liberal states and cities, people feel like it's not good for them when corporations or, wealthy individuals leave because of regulatory or tax policy. They realize that's going to impact their communities and their tax base, which funds schools and police departments and all those things. So she's taken a lot of backlash. And I think you can say a lot of things during campaigning, but obviously when you get in office, you meet different realities.
Okay, all right, good luck on Fox News Sunday. Normally we do this on Fridays, but it's a Thursday. It's kind of like running for mayor in Atlanta. Yeah, there you go. Senator Van Hollen and Byron Donalds, and I'm sure it'll be stacked and packed, Shannon, for Memorial Weekend. It's kind of like running for mayor in Atlanta saying you don't drink Coca-Cola. Or you don't even like Coca-Cola. Just step in it one more time. Shannon, thank you.
Yeah,
we'll talk
or running
soon.
in Texas and saying you don't eat meat. There's that one out there, too.
To be determined, right. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.